Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Dorothy who lived in Kansas with her uncle, aunt, and her dog, Toto. One day, as they played on the farm, a cyclone approached. Dorothy's uncle and aunt hurried to the cellar, but Toto ran into the house. Dorothy followed Toto, but it was too late. The cyclone uprooted the house and spun it around in the wind. When it stopped, they found themselves in a strange and colorful land. Dorothy and Toto stepped out of the house and encountered the Witch of the North. She welcomed them to the magical land of Oz and explained that Dorothy's house had landed on the Wicked Witch of the East, killing her. Dorothy was thanked for freeing the people of Oz from the evil witch's tyranny. The Witch of the North gave Dorothy the Witch of the East's ruby shoes, advising her to follow the yellow brick road to the Wizard of Oz, who might help her return home. On their journey, Dorothy and Toto met a Scarecrow who wished for a brain. Dorothy helped him off his pole, and he joined their journey, hoping the wizard would grant his wish. They then encountered a rusted tin man who wished for a heart to feel emotions. After oiling his joints, he too joined their journey. Finally, they met a cowardly lion who wished for courage. He decided to accompany them in hopes that the wizard would grant his wish as well. The group faced various challenges. They built a raft to cross a river, with the Tin Man chopping wood and the Scarecrow tying it together. They encountered a poppy field that put Dorothy to sleep, but she was revived by her friends. They also faced a large boulder, which the lion courageously leaped over, carrying them all. Eventually, they reached the wizard's palace. A soldier summoned them to a grand hall where the wizard awaited. Each expressed their wishes: the Scarecrow for a brain, the Tin Man for a heart, the lion for courage, and Dorothy to return home. The wizard revealed that the Scarecrow already had a brain, as he had devised the plan to build the raft. The Tin Man had shown emotions by crying for Dorothy, and the lion had demonstrated courage by leaping over the boulder. Dorothy learned that the ruby shoes had the power to take her home. She bid farewell to her friends and used the shoes to return to Kansas. Meanwhile, in a distant land, a poor woodcutter lived with his wife and 2 children, Hansel and Gretel. A famine struck, and the woodcutter's wife insisted they leave the children in the forest to save themselves. Despite his reluctance, the woodcutter agreed. Overhearing their plan, Hansel gathered pebbles to mark their way back. The next day, their parents led them into the forest and left them. Hansel and Gretel followed the pebbles back home. The famine worsened, and the woodcutter's wife insisted again on abandoning the children. This time, Hansel left breadcrumbs to mark their path, but birds ate the crumbs. Lost in the forest, Hansel and Gretel followed a beautiful bird to a house made of bread and candy. They began to eat the house when an old woman invited them in. She was a wicked witch who planned to eat them. The witch locked Hansel in a cage and forced Gretel to do chores. She intended to bake Gretel, but Gretel cleverly tricked the witch into demonstrating how to enter the oven, then pushed her in and bolted the door, burning the witch to death. Gretel freed Hansel, and they found the witch's treasure. They filled their pockets with jewels and made their way home. A kind duck helped them cross a stream, and they eventually found their way back to their father, who had regretted leaving them. Their stepmother was dead, and the family was reunited. The treasure they brought home ended their misery, bringing prosperity to their village. Hansel and Gretel, along with their father, lived happily ever after.